Sup nerds, Big Tom here, and I'm going to talk to y'all about Among the Stars by Artipia Games and Stronghold Games. First things first, some of you astute viewers might be noticing these little token trays here. No, these don't come with the game. This is the broken token insert, and I'm going to do another video showing off that. I have to say that I think Among the Stars is probably my all-time favorite drafting game. Now, with a little bit of a caveat, when I say drafting games, I mean of the pick and pass variety, like Seven Wonders, Sushi Go, Treasure Hunter, Nevermore, those kind of thing. Because other games where you're drafting from like a pile, like Elysium, or dice drafting like Coimbra or Pulsar, it's not a fair comparison. Now I did just get Seven Wonders Armada, so I don't know if that'll push Seven Wonders over the top, but just base to base, Among the Stars definitely, and Seven Wonders would be second. But obviously, since I just told you I love it, you don't need to watch any more of the review, right? It's a card drafting game, but it really feels kind of like a tile drafting game. Like Between Two Cities or Capital, or I guess it's Warsaw City in Ruin now. Because not only are you drafting cards, but where you place them matters, and I really, really like that. I normally don't really care for tile placement games much at all, but in this, I really do, because I love drafting. I think drafting is one of my favorite mechanics, and it just works so well together. There's a lot of ways that you can plan ahead. You can be, well, I'm really going to go for reds this time, or I'm really going to go for blue this time. There's a lot of incentivization in the decks to do that. There's a lot of special locations that'll give you bonuses for every blue that you have, and it'll give you bonuses. There's cards like the turrets will give you +1 point for every other turret that's in there, and that's really good. So hate drafting is a pretty big deal in this game. There's a lot more times in this game where I'm saying, whatever you do, don't let him get this card. Or, oh my god, why did you let him take that card? So much more than in, like, let's say, Seven Wonders. Maybe somebody's getting all the sciences in Seven Wonders, and you're like, no, don't give him another science. But other than that, you don't care all that much what the other person's doing. I guess military, too, but it's not so much, don't hand him the military, you're going to win the game, because it only affects me versus him. So it'd be like, oh, I'm going to not give him the military. Whatever. Some of the complaints that I do have with the game, though, are that in the base rules, it does say to pick the special locations you want to play with and mix it in depending on the number. Like, they have special locations, and then the other cards say 3 and 4. So they have the 4 cards that you pull out if you're playing with 3 players, right? And then the special locations, you have a certain number of them. So it says that you have them separate, and then pick the ones you want to play with, and then you'll have a little stack of unused special locations. And then there's even, it said in the back, it was like a variant of, oh, you could just mix it all together, but then you won't know the distribution, so to speak, right? And that's always what I do. I always just take the whole deck and mix it all together. You know, I'll keep the 4s separate in case I'm playing with 3 players, but I always just mix it all together because I'm not really a card counter, so to speak. You know, I'm never going to really know, oh, okay, I know there's one more of these in the deck, or this isn't there. I just want to be surprised, you know, I don't really care about that. Also, the game has a couple of modules, but it's something that I would play with them pretty much all the time with the exception of one. There's the special ability powers that, of course, I would always play with, and there's the goals at the end that I'd always play with. The only reason why they say not to play it is if, like, it's your first game. So maybe, but even then, I think the game's simple enough that in your first game you could use both of those, no problem. The only one that I'm reluctant, that I actually still haven't played with, are these, like, what are they, like, battle cards, conflict cards, I think. This in here, and in the expansions you get other, like, little decks, but in here you have a deck that they're all called Dispute. These cards give you a bit more of, like, a take-that sort of thing. It's more conflict, more ways that you can pick another player and they lose points. So, like this one, an example. Choose another player and count the number of green locations in each of your space stations. If you have more, gain points equal to the difference, he loses the same amount. So it's more conflict, which is fine, but it seems really take-that-esque to me. And now, obviously, I haven't played with those cards, so I ought not review it. But what I can tell you is that looking at those cards, I go, I don't know if that's something I would want in my game. I like Among the Stars as is just fine. Now, there are 2 expansions that I have right here. I have Expanding the Alliance and the Ambassadors, and I still haven't played with either of these, but once I do, I'll do a video overview telling you what I thought on these. And there's another one called Revival that I still haven't gotten yet. But I'm very, very excited to play these expansions and to play Among the Stars again. I have it on my phone. I play the app all the time. There's little missions in there. It's really cool. I just always have such a good time playing this game. The components are they're pretty good. Like, the box is, a little flimsy, I guess. Point tokens are little small. Not really. I don't know. I'm trying to pick, like, little nitpicky things to pull out so I'm not just gushing over it. But I love Among the Stars. I really, really do. I have very few complaints. So if any of what I was talking about in this video sounds interesting to you, I'm going to put a purchase link to Among the Stars in the description box down below, as well as probably the Broken Token insert and the other expansions. Go ahead and get yourself a copy. I highly recommend it. Man. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.